at Apex Outdoor Gear. We've been here 3.5 years now, and this is the most people we've ever packed into the store. I'm sure we're over code, so nobody tell anybody. But thank you for coming. We really appreciate it. If you're new to the store, just feel free to ask questions. The staff are all in the black and yellow shirts here. We have our website, apexoutdoorgear.com. We have a blog, Flickr. We're on Facebook. Join us there. We're really trying to build a good culture locally of people out there that actually want to go hiking and do this stuff. Not necessarily just look the part, but actually get out there. And we want to help you do that. So we hold 3 clinics here in the store Thursday nights, kind of like this. Maybe not as big. But Thursday night, 3 clinics. We do trips out of the store, all sorts of stuff. So please, get involved with us. We want to be a part of your experience out there. Tonight, we have Randy and Sherry Froster here. Give them a round of applause. So we really appreciate them coming out here on the tour, and they're going to kind of give themselves a little talk about who they are and what they're doing. Definitely stick around. Please, it's going to be an hour-long presentation, questions at the end, but there's a lot of stuff to give away, okay? So please stick around. Unless you don't like free stuff, you can leave. But we're going to have free stuff here to give away, and everybody here tonight gets a 10% off voucher, good for the store on anything, anytime. So definitely use that. Hold on to them. They don't expire. So I think that's it. We're good? So thanks, guys. If you have questions, definitely let us know. I'll turn it over.
On every single trip that we take. Now, our clothing and our footwear choices will definitely make up part of our ability to stay insulated, and then we definitely take comfort in knowing that we can for sure generate additional warmth with a combination of gear and skills capable of making fire. Randy's showing you a little of our fire system here. We always make sure we have waterproof matches with us. Randy's got a nifty new toy he has to show everyone.
I do love this toy. If you haven't seen the pocket torch here, this allows you to take any classic rectangular 50-cent lighter you can buy over the counter and turn it into a weatherproof torch. This would actually do me very little good at altitude or in wind or water, but I can weatherproof it by putting it in this casing a couple of clicks later, and I have a very high BTU torch. It's going to be much easier to get a fire started with than that classic lighter with. So pretty cool conversion.
Pretty cool. We also always make sure we have some type of fire starting tender with us, and then we always have a knife or multi-tool attached to our pockets. Now, in our most recent survival guide issue, a knife was actually voted the #1 piece of gear that our readers would like to have on them in a survival situation, and we can definitely understand why this is an essential system of gear. We've got a number of knives and tools with us, all from Gerber this year. We'll show you a couple of them. Randy is a big fan of these fixed blade tools. Definitely good for big jobs working around camp if you're cutting wood or rope. Likes the fact that there's a bottle opener incorporated into the bottom of it. I'm definitely a big fan. I like multi-tools. This was actually reviewed in the most recent Gear Guide issue. This is the Octane. We've got pliers, a 2.5-inch serrated blade, multiple screwdrivers, bottle opener as well, and that pretty beefy package for only 5 ounces. So really doesn't matter what knife or tool that you choose. You just want to make sure, 1, that you have one, and 2, you're not intimidated by it, you're comfortable working with it.
As Sherry said, we take comfort in having some things on our person, because if we were to become separated from our backpack, more than likely something has gone wrong. So we need to have some gear with us that would help us meet those short-term needs and help remedy that situation. So we're going to have the ability to make fire. We're going to have the knife or tool. We're also going to carry some things with us that would help us to be able to stay hydrated and stay our nutrition, stay energized, as well as the ability to communicate and to navigate. So I've got a little kit that I put in my pocket here that has things. Obviously, I can't carry water in my pockets, but I do carry some purifying tablets that will allow me to carry clean water. I also have a large sheet of tinfoil in here that I could create a container in which I could hold water. Carry a high-calorie snack to be able to stay with that fueled energy and hydrated. It's going to help a ton. As well, I'm going to carry some things like a loud whistle and a signaling mirror that would help me get attention brought to myself. If I didn't have the signaling mirror, I would certainly utilize anything else on my person. My knife blade might be reflective enough to throw a reflection. Believe it or not, the watch face has been proven to show a signal off a watch face has been seen up to 100 miles away. So it's a great way to get attention brought to yourself. As well, I'm going to make sure I have the ability to navigate, and that's going to require the other pocket here, but I always keep a map and compass in the pocket anyway. Why would I want to stop and unpack to pack and repack and have to pull out a map and compass at every trailhead. So this is going to be something that's going to be easily accessible. Notice I protect it. I keep it in a weatherproof pouch here. We've all done it. You take a map, paper map, you fold it up, you put it in a pocket. 2 sweaty miles later, it comes out blurred, torn, ripped. I've done it myself this last week. But we always should protect our map and compass. And then, as well, we talked about the watch as a way to throw a reflection of light, but I'm going to count on my watch as an integral part of my navigation system as well. I say to all of you, please know the time when you leave the trailhead. Know the time when you get to set distances along the way. That's going to help you either stay on pace or adjust your route to a more realistic distance. And it's easier than ever to count on your watch as part of your navigation system because more and more watches are integrating relevant outdoor information into them. This watch I have here is actually an analog watch that looks kind of classic. With the classic look, you could easily sport it with a suit and tie, but it also has an altimeter built into it. So that's, all right.
You own a suit and tie.
So I don't wear a suit and tie a lot, but you could wear it with a suit and tie. It's also an analog altimeter watch. This is an analog tide, temperature, and compass watch. The same classic look with tons of features. If you're into the digital scene, it's really hard to beat a watch called the WS4. This is essentially a weather station on your wrist. Your hands free and drink along the way. However, we're not going to stop there. We are going to bring along a very lightweight bottle as well with a supply of water in it. Now, why 2 supplies? Simply because if this bladder were to leak or pop or puncture and I'm any extended distance between water supplies, you could find yourself in a dehydrated hurt very quickly. So I always have the preparation of a backup supply. Now, I'm also going to want to make sure I have water that is safe to drink, which is going to require me to somehow or another filter it or purify it. The most fail-proof method is to boil your water. Obviously not the most convenient approach. If you're going to be boiling water every time you need water, it's going to make for a pretty long day on trail. I'm not a big fan of carrying a whole lot of water. I'm going to carry as little as I have to get to a realistic resupply point. Sherry and I's longest stretches on our hike across the country, we had up to 100 miles at a time between natural water supplies. So it became very difficult. We had to get kind of creative and carry large supplies of water. And so I don't prefer to do that, but you make sure you pay attention to your maps and you know where water is going to be out there and know what kind of water source you're dealing with, and that'll help you choose the right filter. So there's not one magic filter or purifying device for every person and for every source. So it might be different on every adventure you take. But some options are both pump filters and purifiers, maybe a chemical treatment, or ultraviolet light devices. One of the options we've been using of late that we have found to be very convenient is an inline system here. This is a 3-way filter from Sawyer. This little filter weighs 1.8 ounces. It's a light filter in my opinion in that it is capable of filtering water for the life of the product, which is going to be endlessly as long as I take care of it. But the technology here is actually a borrowed technology from the medical field. They were using these types of devices to clean blood for kidney dialysis, and someone in the outdoor world had a light bulb go off and said, if it cleans blood, don't you think it would clean water? And the answer was yes. And so this technology has really advanced our ability to be super convenient in that we simply fill the bladder, and as fast as I drink the water, it's being filtered on the way to my mouth. So it's pretty hard to beat the convenience and lightweight option there. Once we decide which filter is best for our bodies and our destination, we're going to store that in the lid of our pack. Reason being, this is going to be something I'm going to access multiple times throughout the day. As I said, I'm going to resupply water multiple times. I keep my water storage in a dry sack. This is an example of gear I'm going to protect my other gear from. If it's water stuff, it's going to potentially be wet, so the dry sack is great. The dry sack also serves multiple purposes. I like my gear to do multiple things, as I mentioned earlier. If I'm in a long stretch where I don't have enough of a storage between the bladder and the bottle, then I can use the water bag here, the dry bag, as a water bag. Simply empty it, fill it with water, and I can carry 10 liters of water in a dry bag here. And the beauty of this dry bag from Sea to Summit is that not only is it a water bag, I can carry water in if I had to, but at the end of the day, I can actually hang it from a tree, open the spout, and take a 10-minute shower in the background. So once again, a great multi-use item. The last addition that we've made to our water kit is the folding bucket here. If you haven't seen the folding bucket, this is a true convenience upgrade, in that this gives me a 10-liter bucket that I can simply go down to the edge of a water source, dip and go, carry 10 liters of water away all at one time, enough water for myself, for Sherry, for that night, for our cooking needs that night, and our startup the next day, all in one grab. I don't have to stand on a slippery rock on the edge of the creek or river and pump water out. I can allow the sediment, because it's freestanding when full, to settle out and pump off the top of the water bag, which is going to save the life of my filter. And once again, multi-use. We met a woman that carries the 20-liter version. I said, really, you need 20 liters of water? She said, well, I like to use it at the end of long days to soak my feet in. So I guess there's options for everybody, but there are plenty of accessories out there that in